Bruce Lee. Greatest trumpet player that ever lived. Let's do some curls, like we're doing curls for the girls. Inhale through the nose, compress, let it go. 2 more. Hey guys, Ralph here. Welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this thrilling Thursday here in Connecticut. Life's good. Life's good. Anyway, I did 30 miles on the bike, twice through the SF book, and here I am. I did play about an hour today. Okay, usually it's the first notes of the day. But let's see what we got, and we'll take it from there. You saw the thumbnail. Why don't today's players want to sound like HERSETH? Some of them do. Unfortunately, the orchestral guys don't. Except one. All right, let me hop. We'll talk about it. My Lord. Okay, let's try this. Let's have a little fun with Arbin number 2. I got it right up there. Since we're on the subject of A flats, let's see how many I got. So, that was 2 octaves above high C and 2 octaves below low C, the double pedal. Anyway, this is a book in the archives. Get it down below. Book of the month. The main topic is HERSETH, but there's lots of other things. Okay? Now, why don't modern orchestral players want to sound like HERSETH? Well, there's several reasons, all viable. One just makes me sick. One is just the way of the world. And anyway, so Adolf HERSETH. He and Mel Broyles. I thought Mel Broyles was better, but in just a couple situations. But there's so little out there of Mel Broyles, and I'm going to leave a clip of HERSETH doing several different promenades from pictures. Guys, nobody's doing this. Nobody's sounding like this, not even close. Except I told you there was one, Batayan, who's where he's supposed to be in the right orchestra, carrying on everybody else. And God bless him. Houghton, Martin, Bilger, who's retired, the guy from Boston, they don't sound like that. They sound nothing like that. Doesn't mean they don't sound good, but they sound nothing like that. Now, one of the biggest things that we have no control over is the conductors. Your boss, your music director, your conductor, has a sound in his ear that he wants to sound, the orchestra sound like. And it is not Schulte's Chicago Symphony. It's something else. I don't know where they get it. Europe, just listening to other crappy brass sections, whatever, they don't sound like the Chicago Symphony. Now, Schulte loved that sound. If your conductor doesn't, you're not going to play that way. Okay? If HERSETH, as great as he is, took an audition for the Philadelphia Orchestra today, and played like he did back in the Chicago times, he wouldn't get the sound, wouldn't get the job. Now, he had so much control over everything, his timbre and everything, that he could adapt to what they wanted, and he'd probably get the job. But if he played like he did back then, he wouldn't get it. So the conductor has a lot to do with it. Okay? Now, a friend of mine, Ray Rosario, thought he was being funny. He sent me a thing last night about this orchestral player, and I'm not going to use his name. I'm not trying to slam anybody here. Who, as I said, most of them are sincere, but they are sincerely wrong. Okay? He is a orchestral trumpet player in a very, very minor, small orchestra. Okay? And he's talking about getting your high notes. The first thing he did was bring out a pencil. Guys, dumb. You have to keep the corners tight. You have to keep them firm and locked in. Guys, that's not what it is. Tension stretches them. It does just the opposite of getting them locked in. Is that locked in? Yeah, and I can do it all day long. Is that locked in? No, it's not. And I can't do that for 5 minutes. Guys, it's done. Now, he had it all figured out. He went off for about 20 minutes. I'm talking about this. And then finally at the end, he played something from Alpine Symphony. Guys, as you can imagine, it was the most god-awful thing I ever heard. There was no center. There was no pitch. The tone on a C trumpet. I mean, and he's talking about developing high notes. He couldn't play a G if you put a gun to his head that anybody wanted to listen to. Guys, they don't want to sound like that. Okay? Now, in the conductor's case, they don't want the sound of the Chicago Symphony. In the teaching, in the pedagogy, they don't know how to get it. Jerry was the only one that figured out, and quite frankly, I'm one of the few that allows him to do it, can teach it as well. This guy could not teach a guy, produce one student, no matter how talented they were, that would sound like HERSETH. He sounded terrible. He sounded nothing like HERSETH. HERSETH wouldn't let him near fourth trumpet in his shit. And I'm not using the name, but he's sincere about this, but he is sincerely wrong. And he's not the only one. Trust me, he is not the only one. This is the way the pedagogy goes. In the top, guys, the two schmoes, who you can figure it out, Ray Mays and who's the other guy? The guy that played second to Mel Broyles all those years, that Mel hated with a passion. Mark Gould. Those two guys couldn't sound like HERSETH if you put a gun to their head. Now, how are they going to teach anybody to sound like that? The two guys at Juilliard. That's the top music school in the world, and they can't tell you how to do it. At least when Mel was playing, he could show you, this is what it's supposed to sound like, Ace. These two schmoes can't do that. Never in their life did they sound like Mel Broyles or HERSETH. Mark Gould admitted, he said I was the anti-Mel Broyles. He was somehow proud of that. Somehow proud of that. Why would you? I'm the anti-HERSETH. I sound nothing like him. I mean, what the, see what I'm saying? What the hell is that? But you combine the conductor with the trumpet player, trumpet teacher, professor that has no idea how to teach it. That's what you've got. Now, the commercial guys, I told you, listed them off. DeLibra, Pirello, Perico, years gone by, Triscaris, Al Porcino, Gazzo. They all sounded like HERSETH, but they were trying to emulate Harry James. Now, the commercial guys that I just talked about, first of all, are old enough to have been privy to all that sound. That is what they're trying to sound like. Tom Pirello played with Harry James for 6 years, lead trumpet. That's what he wants to sound like. That's what HERSETH is trying to sound like. I don't know what these guys are trying to sound like. And again, It's all mixed up in some convoluted idea of what a conductor has in their mind for the sound. And the only conductor that I know in recent memory that is a trumpet player is Gerard Schwartz. And he stinks. He got fired, didn't get tenured. He got into conducting. So, guys, Bataillon, please, please, please continue fighting a good fight. I don't know how he teaches. Maybe he can't teach it either. But he sounds just like HERSETH. And I love it. I love it. Anyway, we'll talk again. Love you all.